President Cyril Ramaphosa is in a closed meeting with Eskom executives and ministers who include Pravin, Gordhan and Bheki Cele at the Tutuka Power station in Mpumalanga. And government is under pressure to bring to an end ongoing power outages. Newzroom Afrika's Tumaole Mohlaoli is in Tutuka, or at the Tutuka Power plant in Mpumalanga, ready to give us a preview, I guess, if you were a fly on the wall of what possibly could be spoken about in that meeting. Dumi?
Well, Tutu, I certainly expect that the meeting would be quite a difficult meeting. I suppose this is why the media is out here. That meeting is a closed meeting, and some very tough conversations, and as well about what is actually going on with these power outages. Of course, Eskom CEO Andre Director has been on record as saying that these power outages are caused in part by sabotage. This is why, of course, we would find the police minister, Bheki Cele, here to give an update about what his investigations have uncovered, because he has been tasked to see if there is, of course, any criminal syndicate that is working behind the scenes. We see that because when you look at the kind of issues that are contributing to these power outages, it also includes the vandalism of power stations and other infrastructure that belongs to the power utility, even at a municipal level. This creates a huge pressure on the grid, and this is what, of course, is being briefed to the president right now, as well as, of course, with the Minister of Minerals, and that would be, of course, Gordhan, and the Minister of Minerals would be tasked to brief the president and to talk to Eskom about how the power utility is coping with its supply of coal, because coal is still one of the key suppliers and producers of electricity and drivers here at the Tutuka Power Station. So these are some of the conversations that we expect are being had behind closed doors, and we will then, I'm told, go on a walkabout and an on-site inspection. We're expecting that the president will emerge with that delegation, as well as Eskom CEO Andre Director, as well as officials from here at Tutuka, and he will go through the power plant and be appraised as to what is actually going on in terms of the problematic status as this power plant is being labeled as. It's one of the problem power plants in terms of production of power, and he seeks to understand the president as to what is actually going on. The president went on record as saying that the power outages that we've seen would be a thing of the past soon, but with Tutuka continuing to be a problematic, or classed as a problematic power plant, he certainly would want to hear exactly what is underpinning that and what can be done to ensure that this turns around.
Indeed, as we await to hear what interventions could also possibly come out of this meeting, as this has been a problem that has been plaguing the country for a number of years. One of those solutions, at this stage at least, is off the table, and that would be the privatization of the power utility.
Rights and children.
This is something that has been coming from government, that privatization of the power utility is at the stage out of the question. This is something that also the Labour Federation of Unions has also been fighting against, saying that privatizing Eskom at this stage, with the country being where it is in terms of the unemployment stats, would actually be detrimental to the economy and also to the government's agenda to create jobs, to create sustainable jobs at that, and it will just add to the number of the unemployed. Currently, unemployment stats sitting at around close to 50%, if not over that, and many of those are young people. So Eskom is seen as a key driver to that particular agenda to push back on those unemployment stats. Privatizing that would certainly be seen in some quarters and by government as as working against that agenda. This will be some of the conversations that are taking place. And of course, Minister Pravin Gordhan would be appraising the President as to what his particular department's view in terms of privatization is. Many are saying that this is the way to go, because it seems as if Eskom, as a power utility and national power supplier, is struggling. The infrastructure is aged. There is the issue of sabotage, but also the issue of mismanagement coming into sharp focus, because it has been highlighted and exposed by Eskom itself that at some of its utilities, including Tutuka, there has been acts of state property, Eskom property, being siphoned off or stolen, if you will, by officials. And this would include diesel that powers the process, of course, of processing the coal and transmitting it into the electricity grid. And this is something that Eskom is going after those who are accused of being part of that criminality and seeking to recoup its losses. However, this is something that is also going to be discussed as to how far that process is, how far the litigation is, and when the power utility can actually be stabilized.
We look forward to the next update. Tumaole Mohlaoli, thank you very much for that detail.